Francisco is also reopening little by little, and it is great to see that the community of artists now have a chance to have more open studios and open galleries. So I spoke to a few artists about how they feel now that things are reopening, and a little bit more how they did during the pandemic, and here it is for you. San Francisco is home to hundreds of long-time and emerging artists. Somewhere between 800 and 1,200 artists live in the city. It is a real treat for local residents and visitors to see their work through open studios or when the galleries are open. Our gallery in studios on Folsom Street is now open to the public. They have a few exhibits and face masks are still required. I paid an impromptu visit to 3 full-time artists who are not exhibiting right now, but have their studios at this location. They are Natalie Fabry, Jennifer King, and Joshua Coffey. Natalie Fabry paints colorful urban landscapes. She has been a full-time visual artist for the last 10 years.
I was born in Argentina, my parents are Belgian, and my family all immigrated to Canada.
Oh my gosh, you have a mix.
Yes.
Are you thinking things are gonna get moving again?
It feels like it. It's very hopeful. And things were moving actually during the pandemic. Artists were able to do work, artists were able to sell. Some people didn't do well, but mostly people did okay. We survived this.
That's really interesting. So for artists, they having to be inside and to be by yourself actually helps with your creativity, right?
Yes and no. Some artists could not. For example, for me at the beginning, I could not paint. But I was still feeling so creative. So I started taking photos of myself with a plague mask, with the beak, in different situations. So I was still being very creative, but I couldn't paint. And I found a lot of artists had that block too.
Huh.
But then they sort of discovered new things as well.
That's quite
that
interesting.
was interesting.
So if people want to reach you, where can they find you?
On a site called fabrications.com. Fabrications with a K instead of a C, and plural, fabrications.
Jennifer King's work is more of surrealism. She has been an oil painter for about 16 years.
As an artist, it did not affect my imagination, my creativity, or my production. I was able to continue on, maybe even more so than usual, because I had more time to be able to do it. It feels good to have a slow evolution to getting back to socializing and going to the galleries. I just got back from a gallery. Just kind of getting to know feeling a little bit more comfortable with how things are emerging and opening up again. So I think it's an important thing. I'm glad it didn't happen super fast. It's a slow, steady way up. I like to spotlight more mundane subjects, things that are maybe less revered, and then I like to elevate them in my scenes. Compose the piece so that it almost looks like a snapshot or a picture into another world.
Joshua Coffey likes to paint birds and other animals.
And I've been a full-time painter for about 8 years.
And your favorite subject to paint?
I like painting birds a lot.
Tell me about this painting.
So this is sort of my tribute to Pride Week. It's called Pride Birds, and it's all about, people being able to love freely.
And Pride Month is coming up?
Yeah, it's almost here.
Wow. So how did it go for you during the pandemic?
It was really good, actually. A lot of people have been waiting on paintings and wanting a painting, and so I had several commissions during the pandemic.
Now that things are reopening, how does it feel for you?
It's good. Some of the galleries that I work with are able to have shows again. So they're, talking to people about planning shows, and I've been participating in group shows. I know at one point Open Studios, which is our longest nationwide running open studios, had over 800 artists sign up. And that's just the ones that signed up for open studios. So if you add the ones that didn't sign up, I would say it's probably at least 1,200 to 1,500 artists in San Francisco.
And it looks like San Francisco is a good place for artists.
I think it can be, with the rents going up and studio space becoming much more scarce. It's very hard for San Francisco artists. Many people I know paint out of their kitchen or paint at home, but it kind of comes and goes in waves. There'd be a wave where 1 or 2 years it's really hard for everybody, and in 2 or 3 years, everybody's ordering murals and people are buying art. So
because
it kind of goes in waves.
Because the good thing of San Francisco or in San Francisco is that people appreciate art.
I think so. I moved to this city because of that reason. So I think a lot of other people still do appreciate art here and still collect art here. And it's a good time. It's a vibrant place.
With 49% of people vaccinated in California at this point in May 2021, and with summer around the corner, artists are ready for art shows and for people to see their work.